Hey, beautiful souls. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the Wednesday live chat. Sorry, I missed last week. I was in over my head, and I'm back this week. So I'm trying to do these every Wednesday live with all of you at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. In the US, we have already changed our clocks forward for spring. So know accordingly in the world what time it is where you are, because I know like UK, I don't think you guys have changed your clocks yet. But welcome to today's live talk, live chat. I'm excited for our topic today. I am inspired by the healing from last night. So hello to those of you that are joining me live. And if you're watching on the replay, hello and lots of love to you as well. Last night in the free community healing, which if you missed it, there'll be another one next month. Watch for posts wherever you're watching this, or on my Facebook at Joyful Medium or the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group, or just get on my email list on my website, joyfulmedium.com. I have a free healing every month. So the one that we did last night, I was inspired to do a meditation and to talk about the spring equinox, because that is what's coming up this weekend, is this transition in the astrology of it all, in the planetary alignments, and what's going on in that energy. It's basically a new year starting. If you watch the Spirit Speakeasy or listen to the Spirit Speakeasy podcast, watch or listen, you may have caught the episode from last week, which was Sheetal's story, talking about the predictions for the 2023 new year, which is happening this weekend in astrology. So there's lots of change happening, lots of change in the air. You might be feeling it. It might be showing up in your life as just kind of prickly emotions. So it might be you misunderstanding others, or you might be feeling misunderstood. It might be like little squabbles or small eruptions of things, technology breaking down in weird ways, or weird connection issues. Miscommunication in like emails or in conversation, or in relayed messages, like this person's telling someone what you said, that kind of thing, confused intentions. So we're just in a little bit of an uncomfortable transition phase. And in the healing, we talked about the butterfly. I was inspired by this Maya Angelou quote, and I want to give it to you today because that's what I want to talk a little bit about, and just something for you to ponder as we go into this astrological new year. I love Maya Angelou, and I'm sure that you do too. She is a treasure. And this quote from her is, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." And I think that's so relevant to us, and so relevant to us right now, because we are in this period of change. And we often don't think about this, but the butterfly, it's not like it knows, oh, I'm going to go into this cocoon chrysalis, and then I'm going to come out this beautiful butterfly and I'll be able to fly and it's going to be wonderful. No, that is not what the butterfly is thinking. The butterfly, it's these transitional imaginal cells within the butterfly that start to cause these changes on the cellular level. And so the butterfly just feels like it's, melting from the inside out. Perhaps the butterfly is not, it's a natural transition that it goes through, but it's not necessarily something the butterfly is like excited about or felt like it signed up for. Kind of how we go through these changes in our world and we think like, oh, I just want everything to stay the same. I just want it to be normal, right? And I know we've been in this energy for quite a while, and that is what we're shedding in this transition. So I just want to present the idea to you that there's a difference between changes and transformation. Now, sometimes part of our humanness makes us, like I was saying, search or seek or try to control for sameness, right? So that we can have predictability, so that we feel safe, so that we can control our environment or our schedule, or sometimes even our health, which, those things we know, there's always something that can come in unexpectedly from the side that's out of our control. So while it's our human nature to strive for that, sometimes just reminding ourselves that we are always going to be going through these transitions in our lives, in who we are, in who we see the world as. And sometimes we're in periods of change, big change, right? That can look something like a pandemic. That can look something like your job is changing and things are totally different. Your role might be different. Your schedule might be different. That can look like relationships coming together or breaking apart. And it doesn't necessarily mean just in your home in a romantic sense, but it could be friendships. It could be through loss. People pass away. So we go through all kinds of changes. Could be changes in health. Sometimes, lots of things. It's one of the things as a medium that still continues to shock and amaze me is all the different things we can go through, right? These different changes in our lives. And oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes these changes, these big changes that happen around us are totally out of our control. We can do so much to manage our health and wellness, for example, but we can't necessarily control a condition that we experience or an accident that happens that affects our physical body, for example, right? Those are just changes. And then we have the opportunity, the option to let those changes that happen kind of harden us, make us more rigid, make us slip into more fear and control. Or we can allow them to transform and to continually be transforming parts of us like the butterfly, because you guys are all beautiful souls with amazing technicolor auras like these incredible butterflies all around in these communities. So truly you are, each soul is a version of a butterfly. We are meant to grow and change and transform. And these change periods, right? These sometimes in the work, we also call it growth periods. So these growth periods are meant to in some senses make us uncomfortable, in some senses highlight strengths or areas where we want to improve or we have the opportunity to grow or heal or expand. And change is not always comfortable. That's just the truth. It's often experienced as uncomfortable. So just know that you have this opportunity instead of being in fear and control and striving for sameness, right? Striving to like, okay, how do I lock this down? How do I control my environment more? How do I, instead of going into control, maybe going into the mindset, the other option for you, right? If you're at this fork in the road in a period of change, which I think a lot of us are in right now, you have the option, instead of going into those fear-based responses, to remind yourself, oh, wait, I am transforming. This change is here to transform me, and I am going to flow with it. Let inspiration come in. Let my intuition come in softly. Remember, it's always going to be, not always, but most often soft, subtle. And I'm going to let it help me grow. I'm going to see where I'm guided to learn more, see where I'm guided to go deeper, see what emotions come up for me as a part of this process and who I become after this change period ends or until we're in a different type of change period. So when you feel yourself slipping into the fear around changes, and like I said, it's any change that we're experiencing in life, and collectively, like we've talked about before, we're in a 7-year. So there are some changes, there is some transition and some like spiritual reckoning that's happening. So collectively, we are all in several layers and variations of periods of change. And then, of course, each in our own individual families, whoever you live with or see on a day-to-day basis, could be your work family, even family. It could be your soul family. It could be, if you're in the Joy Soul Spa community, we're a family group. And then also privately within ourselves and within each of our relationships, and even people we kind of come into contact with casually. Maybe you have clients or patients or students, depending what you do. So we're always going to have change coming in that feels out of our control, but you have as a divine creator, you have the potential available to you to, instead of choosing fear, to choose hope, to choose just recognizing you're in transition. And while things might not look the same or feel the same or be the same, that ultimately, the way, like, my little personal mantra is, everything's always working out. Everything's always working out. Historically, even though we've had traumas and challenges and big changes and, earth shaking changes in lots of cases, everything's always working out. So that is really the inspirational message I have for you today. Just wanted to bring that to you as we enter this spring equinox. What are you flowing with, and where are you resisting the changes that are happening? Are there changes happening within you that you maybe haven't even identified yet? Are you available to do some growth or some personal development? This week's podcast episode was an experience with Archangel Raphael. If you guys like that, those experience ones, I can post or I can start recording some more that are experiences like that. I love doing those. I have a couple that I'm going to record today that I'm excited about. One is about pets or animals in the spirit world. And then the other, I'm between two topics. So we'll see what I'm going to do. So the other thing I want to tell you guys, I have a couple announcements. There is going to be a free live workshop that I keep teasing that I'm going to announce soon. That's going to be at the beginning of April. So look for posts and more announcements about that. It'll be a free live 5-day workshop to teach you guys about your own intuitive gifts. What might be blocking them, how to make them stronger and clearer. So start looking for posts about that. I'm working on it. And the other thing is, I have an event coming up this weekend with our friend and my colleague, Carolyn Wilkins. I'm going to put it in the chat in the comments. So look for the event link there. It is Spring Forward with Spirit, and it is a demonstration of mediumship. So a group mediumship reading. It's a ticketed event, and Carolyn and I are going to be working together. She's going to do some inspired Akashic Trance piano healing, I'm sure, as a part of it. We're going to do some general messages just as inspiration, and then we're going to be giving what we call it in the work is evidence or details, communications and messages from your loved ones in the spirit world. And several attendees will receive personal messages and communications from their own loved ones in the spirit world. So that is this Sunday. I'm so excited. It's here. March 19th. It is 12 p.m. Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern, and other time zones. Check what time it is for you, depending on how your clocks and daylight saving time works wherever you are. I just listened to a podcast about that this week. So lots of love. I hope to see a lot of you at the event. There are still tickets left. It's going to be amazing. Spirit always organizes these events. So if it's been nudging you or on your heart, perhaps it is your loved one wanting to communicate with you. That's often what people tell us when they come to events, is that they just kept getting the feeling like they should go to an event. And then, one popped up. So sometimes it's a good indicator, but sit with it. You know what's best for you. I'm really excited for this opportunity to work with Carolyn. We've been friends for several years, but not done an event together like this. So it's going to be great. So the link for all the details is in the comments. There will be more posts about it. I'll probably put a story up in a little bit. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you are listening to and enjoying the Spirit Speakeasy podcast. You can find that wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Amazon Music and iHeartRadio and Spotify and all the places. And it's also the video versions on my website every week, joyfulmedium.com, under the blog section. So if you want to watch me be awkward while I talk, that's where to do it. So big hugs, lots of love. Thanks for being here with me today. It's always fun to be here with you guys, and happy Wednesday. I hope that you have a great week, and let me know how this message resonates with you. Big hugs. Bye for now.